Hello and welcome to this quick presentation on transportation at DIS and in Stockholm and Greater Sweden in general. We're just going to give you a quick overview of your different transportation options and the logistics of how to get it all done. So first of all, there's lots of ways to travel throughout Stockholm and throughout Greater Sweden. There's the pendeltåg, which is the commuter train. There's the subway, metro, tube. The tunnelbana is what they call it here in Stockholm. Everywhere that there is a tunnelbana station, it will be indicated with a white sign with a blue T in it. Everywhere that there is a pendeltåg or commuter train, it will be indicated with a white sign with a J in it. So those are always good things to look for when in doubt. There are buses in Stockholm, there are ferries in Stockholm, and there are also trams. All of those are covered under your SL card that you get from DIS. So more on that card in a minute, but just to keep in mind, commuter trains, metros, buses, ferries, trams, all included in the Greater Stockholm area in the card that you're given by DIS. There's additionally taxis as a way to get around in Stockholm. They're not very popular, but they are there, especially if you need something in the wee hours, if you need to get to and from the airport, if you're just generally needing something to move large items. Taxi is going to be the way to do that. And then Stockholm is a very easy city to walk and bike in. There is great walking and biking infrastructure. There are protected lanes, all of that. So you can walk from one end to the other very safely and protected. I'm just going to give you this quick video, and this is going to show you the transport card that you have gotten from DIS and just how to use it in a metro station. So the metro station in this video is Stadion, which is the closest metro station to DIS. We're literally sitting on top of it here. And so you've probably been to it if you've been to Stockholm, but this just shows you how you tap your green SL card on the green window. You walk through the gates. You're also going to look to make sure before you walk through those gates that they have the green arrow and not the red arrow as we're seeing there. Sometimes they have green arrows on both sides, even though you don't know it. So as we can see almost happens in this video, you might almost run into someone. Just make sure that you keep your head up. But you can just walk through those green gates. You only need your card at entry. You do not need to re-tap your card at exit in Stockholm. Moving on, so here we see again the register or the SL cards that you all have automatically. A very, very, very important note: make sure to register your SL card. In order to do that, you're going to need to go to an SL customer service station. There are ones of those located in T-Centralen, or if you ask the attendant at any given metro station, including Stadion, right under DIS, they should be able to help you out with how to do that. That is to make sure if your card is lost or damaged, it is registered in the system, the number is known to belong to you, so that way you would not have to pay for a new one. Another good thing to note about these cards is that they are automatically loaded with 90 days. About midway, or about 3/4 of the way, rather, through the semester, you will get an email from the DIS Student Hub with a new code for the last 30 days of your Metro Pass. Keep an eye out for that, and there will be lots more information when those 90 days start to be up for people. It's not something that you have to worry about just yet. In terms of knowing how to get around Stockholm, the SL app is going to be great for you. It looks like this. It's in the App Store and Google Play Store. You can have it on iOS or Android. It can be used in English or Swedish, and there you can plan routes, monitor traffic. That's really important. So if a bus is delayed, if a tram is canceled and they're putting a replacement bus in place, you can read about that on the SL app. You can also buy tickets, and buying tickets is something that you can only do in person or on the SL app or website. Because monitoring traffic and planning routes, you can also do on Google or Apple Maps, but if you have to buy those tickets, it has to be in the SL app. The times that you will probably need to buy tickets are if you're going to Uppsala, for example. That requires an extra ticket, and you will get fined if you don't have it. Or if you're going to the airport, that also requires buying an extra ticket. That will be about $12 or $14 US above your normal pass that encompasses everything else. Again, Stadion is the station that DIS is at. If you see the rainbow, you're in the right place. It is named for the 1912 Olympic Stadium right across from our building. So if you look over the balcony across Octave, you can see that at any given time. Kind of just a fun little history fact for you there. Transportation to the airport. So as I said a couple minutes ago, this might be a time that you would take a taxi. This also might be the time that you would have to pay those $12 extra on your SL card for the airport fee. There's also the Arlanda Express. That is by far the fastest way to get to the airport from the central station, and you can get student discounts, round trip discounts, or discounts for traveling in groups. However, it is still a bit more expensive. You can also get, the cheapest option is probably to take buses. So there's Flixbus or there's flight buses that leave from different places. Some of those buses also go within Greater Stockholm or Greater Sweden rather, or throughout Europe. For example, you can take a Flixbus to Copenhagen, or you can take a Flixbus to Gothenburg. So just something to note there. Just another little fun fact, the Stockholm tunnelbana system has been called the world's largest art gallery. So these are pictures of Kungsträdgården metro station, which is on the 13 blue line. It's just one stop away from T-Centralen. It's the end of that line. And it's one that's super cool, but there are super cool metro stations everywhere. So that's a fun thing to just note and be aware of. Another thing is that there are norms on Swedish transport options, as there are on all things. It's quite clean. People don't put their feet up on chairs or litter. There's even a fine for littering. And you might get a little tisk-tisk if you do have your feet up on the chair. So be aware of that. Let passengers off before you get on, kind of like an elevator. Be polite and stay to the right when you're on an escalator. That way people can walk on the left and you can stand on the right, because people will want to run past you to make a train, make a bus, anything. Also, you may have noticed already that your morning commute will be very quiet. Swedes do not typically talk during commutes, especially in the morning. There are ferries that you can use on your SL card. If they look like this and have that blue SL logo, that's going to be something that you can get on using just the green card that DIS has provided for you. Stockholm itself is an archipelago of 14 islands, and the Greater Stockholm archipelago is 24,000 islands. You can't get to all of them on your SL card, but you can get to a good number of them. You can also get between museums and the amusement park and Skansen in central Stockholm. You can get up to islands such as Lidingö outside of Stockholm via ferry. It's a really cool thing to do for no extra money. Taxis, again, they're not that popular, but you can use them. We recommend Taxi Stockholm. They have a really handy app where you can schedule taxis ahead of time. So if you're going to the airport in the wee hours of the morning, for example, you can schedule that taxi, know that it's going to be there the night before. That way you don't have to worry about it in the morning. Also a note, which is for taxis and really all things, is that tipping is not customary in Sweden and Stockholm. So don't worry about that or count it into the price unless something is really above and beyond. Safety, being aware of pickpockets, traveling with friends. These are things that are good to know no matter where you are. Sweden is a pretty safe country, but it's, nowhere is perfect. So those are things to keep in mind. Traveling with your SL card is really important for the safety of, your wallet. You don't want to be spending 150 USD for traveling without something that you should have. That's going to be really important also for whenever you're taking the Pendeltåg up to Uppsala, buying that extra ticket. And again, if your pass is lost or stolen, you can get a replacement as long as you have registered it at an SL info office. Also, if your card is lost or stolen, let the student hub know. That way we're able to help you out and we know what's going on there. Making the most of your commute, just, it's a part of all of your lives, no matter how long it is. So commuting with friends, taking the time to catch up with people back home. I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks. Anything really to keep yourself entertained, so long as you don't fall asleep. Maybe that's, catching up on some reading that you haven't finished for class, whatever it may be. Make the most of your commute and don't dread that as a part of your day. Use it as a time for yourself to decompress. And so that is it. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to DIS staff, local students in your student boende, host families. You have tons of people happy to help you anytime. You can email studenthub@disstockholm.se, and that will get you a pretty immediate answer from one of the members of our Housing and Student Life team or one of our student workers. So thank you so much for listening along today. And that has been a very brief introduction, not so brief, but a very surface level introduction to transportation in Stockholm.